I think we have to talk about $50,000 XRP price predictions. And when I say $50,000, I mean anything, even over $1,000, because the whole world in XRP, including me, I've talked about these price predictions and how it might be possible. And in fact, in many ways, how it actually is possible. But what I think the issue that we're seeing here, and I'm speaking to people that I'm assuming can think kind of logically and rationally and consider a very valuable thing in their lives as part of this thought process, because we have to start thinking in this way to get the most out of the situation we found ourselves in. But before we continue, I was on a call here with someone just about to join the program that we just talked about, and they were talking about those price predictions as kind of ridiculous and outlandish and not something you should pay attention to. And I had a little bit of a problem with that, because while these big price predictions they require such a massive chain of events to occur for that to even be possible. Not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's possible, but with a small p and a really small font, a lot has to go together to make those price predictions right. But the word that was coming to my mind is these $10,000 price predictions, $50,000 price predictions. They're just not necessary, because he was saying, they're risky. And I was thinking, no, they're just not necessary. Because if you look at your portfolio right now, and I'll tell you the psychological dynamic that goes on with these price predictions. Let's get there first, actually. The reason these big price predictions have such a wide appeal is because the majority of people in XRP hold very small amounts of XRP, right? So even just to be in the top 1% of XRP holders, still relatively small amount of US dollar. When you have these big price predictions, what you're doing is you're capitalizing on a large volume, a large percentage of the population in XRP by appealing to them, because the thing that they want the most is a lot of money, and you're giving a price prediction that feeds them what they want, which is the idea of a lot of money. And so you pick up a lot of steam with these big price predictions, because just by the nature of who you're appealing to. This video is not for that type of person. This video is here to appeal to the people who can think kind of rationally. This is definitely the way my brain is shaped, because I'm going to say a statement here that you're probably going to go at. Right? If you're holding at least $20,000 in XRP or other digital assets, and you're ready to dedicate the next 30 days to building a personalized exit and wealth creation strategy, you have to listen closely. First, you're going to answer 5 simple questions. And if you're aligned, you're going to get direct access to book a personal strategy session with me. The results students are seeing here are phenomenal. And because of this, 10 additional spots have been opened in the program. This is your opportunity right now to transform the gains from this bull run into a lifetime of wealth and freedom. So if you're serious about your digital assets, click the link in the description right now. Right? I don't care if XRP gets to $10,000. I don't care if I had sold everything by that point and then XRP goes to $10,000. I don't care. I don't care if it goes to $1,000. Look, I don't even care if it goes to $500. $100, I don't even care. Do you want to know why? Because I have laid out exactly what I have currently. I've outlined exactly what I want with my life in terms of how much my completely desired, fulfilled life costs. And I do not need even close to $50 to exist for an XRP price for me to achieve that goal. It's far lower. I can achieve 90% of my fulfillment and my dreams financially in my life at a very low price point for XRP. And so it begs the question, what are you working for? What are you doing by paying attention to these massive price predictions as like a primary driver for you to be an XRP? Because who cares? At a certain point, who cares that the price has gone from $1,000 to $2,000? Nobody cares at that point, because at that point you're going from $100 million to $200 million. There's something called the law of diminishing returns, and all I have done is calculated where my law of diminishing returns actually is. I know the point at which I reach 90% of my entire life's dream financially, and I know that after that, the law of diminishing returns is the main factor, and if that is the case, it shouldn't play a heavy role in my attention, in my time, and in my energy. Of course, I can reserve a small portion of my assets that will ride that wave however high the XRP goes, but I have to be in the knowledge, I have to understand, I am only feeding an element of my growth financially that it has diminishing returns written all over it, right? If you have the option to get 90% of everything you want financially and, in your life and you get time freedom with all of that, why do you not just shoot for the 90%? Going for the 100% requires, like, let's just say an example. Let's say, $20 XRP gets you to 90% financial fulfillment. Why would you sacrifice taking that into your current life by taking those profits, right, and capitalizing on that money, just so you can wait for an indefinite amount of time for an indefinite amount of things to come together all in one moment to explode your portfolio to $1 trillion, for example, just to get that extra 10%? Like, if we're talking about assuming risk in crypto, the ultimate thing you can risk is your time. We only get one chunk of time here to be here. And so it's my mentality that, I don't care if the price of XRP goes anywhere even close to $100. I think it will, but it doesn't matter to me if it does, because I will already have achieved 90% of my fulfillment and my financial goals long before that. And that's actually all that is most important to me, because we're in this market right now to achieve some level of freedom versus what we currently exist in today. If you can achieve that, why would you go for more? It doesn't serve anything. Now, there might be exceptions. You might want to do good with that extra money, and that's, fantastic, and you should absolutely do that. What I'm saying is I've drawn a line. Like, I don't care if the price goes crazy with XRP. I just need it to go to a very specific price point, and I have achieved 90% of my goals in life financially. I can spend the rest of my life trying to work up to that 100%, but I'm not here desperate for $1,000 XRP. So I think, if that kind of stuff resonates to you, that way of thinking resonates to you, I've built an entire system for making this super easy to do yourself. You go through my whole methodology for doing this. I'll install the entire system into your system, and it all happens automated in an automatic fashion. So you can have all of your crypto and stuff all thought about, and it's all perfectly defined and ready to go, and will execute when the market goes up. But you can do that all in a short period of time and spend a larger period of time out there enjoying your life. That's the resource that we would pay anything for. So if you want to see what that is, you can book a call with me down below. Just answer 5 simple questions. We'll set up that whole system for you. I'll jump on a call with you first, and then we'll set the whole system up for you. I think we've actually got 2 spots available now from the 10 that I opened up the other day. So jump in while you can. If you're logical thinking, you're rational, you're reasonable, you've got moderate goals, you're not here trying to, make $100 million in 2 days. If that sounds like you, then you know what to do. Go below this video. Stay emotionless.